Hoi! We're doing a very to the point video today about a topic I talk about a lot, which is working in publishing. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Sanne. I worked in publishing for about 5.5 years. I moved to London from the Netherlands after studying English, wanted to get a job in publishing. I'll keep it very short. Took me like 9 months to find it, then worked at Hotkey Books and then at Penguin. Now I'm a freelancer, but I wanted to do a video where I give you 10 tips that I think everyone should know before they go work in publishing or while they're trying to look for a job in publishing. Hopefully will help you out that I wish I knew before I started looking for a job in publishing, because when I started I knew nothing. I knew zero. I've probably mentioned some of these across the years in other videos, but usually it's in like a wider story, so it's harder to find. This video will come in handy whenever people email me with questions, so I can be like, here is the video. I'm gonna try and run through them quite quickly, but if you have any other questions, leave them in a comment below. Tip number 1 for people who want to find a job in publishing: follow publishing people and publishers on Twitter and on Instagram and wherever else you can find them. I started doing this very slowly. I sort of found some publisher accounts, followed those, then I went to the London Book Fair, saw people speak there and was like, oh, they're interesting, follow them on Twitter. And that is how I, for example, found out about some intern opportunities. Those are ones I didn't get, but I did apply for and get a response. You can actually like have active conversations with those people, but you don't necessarily have to. So it's not like you're going to follow people and then just like respond to everything they say. It's just so you get a feeling for how people talk in publishing, what they're interested in, what other things they're sharing, what the current conversation is. You know, they might tweet about jobs that come up as well, and you might respond to some of their tweets and you know, become a bit more of a familiar face. That was a very helpful tip for me. My Twitter went from having no publishing stuff in it to becoming like publishing central. Number 2 is going to sound like a cliche, but I think it is actually very helpful and it can be done in a ton of different ways. And that is, do something in your spare time or with a part-time job if you can that shows your interest in this industry or in books or in whatever particular section of publishing you want to work in. So for me, I had a YouTube channel that I'd been running for, I guess at that point, like 5 years. And for me, that also functioned as a way to kind of show what kind of work I could do. So videos, I can do those. Present at an event, I can do that as well. But it can really be anything. It can be volunteering at your local Oxfam bookshop. It can be volunteering. There is a lot of volunteering because very often these are not things that can actually make you money. Volunteering at another kind of book event or the London Book Fair. Very often there's certain events where they're looking for volunteers. You never know who you'll bump into there, or you can just like soak up all the information. Start your own lo-fi podcast where you just talk into your phone and upload that, where you talk about books or talk about books on Instagram. There is a variety of things you can do. You can get in touch with your local newspaper or your favorite website that takes contributions from people and see if you can write something for that. Really depends on what you want to go into, what your talent is, but something that you can show that you have initiative and you've set up something yourself is really good. Number 3, follow and check all the intern and job accounts. There are lots of Twitter accounts, websites, newsletters, things like that that focus on publishing or the creative industry, where they talk about new job postings, but they also do Q&As and give you tips. Things like that. Very, very helpful. I will leave a bunch of those in the description below. They're doing the good work. Then number 4, while you're looking at job listings, really take a look at what kind of things they're asking for. Now, very often you don't have to be able to do every single thing that they're asking for, because that's obviously a thing that happens a lot, that you feel like, I have that when I look at job openings. I'm like, oh, I can't do that one thing that's on there or those 2 things, and that might not even be relevant. But if you're looking for a particular job and they all have the same requirements on it that you don't have, see if you can study up on some stuff. Look at a free online course about how to become an Excel whiz, or learn how to like mock up some Twitter graphics. I don't know, it can be like a bunch of different things, but see what is in those descriptions. See if there's something you can spend a couple of hours on to kind of brush up on. Number 5, people always say like, go for coffee with the people that inspire you or the people that are in certain roles. I would definitely recommend finding some people that are in assistant roles, exec roles, because very often, obviously, if you are able to get in touch with someone who is like really high up in a publishing company, amazing. But very often the people that are kind of maybe closer to your age or are in more like junior roles might have more time to meet up with you, and they might also not get as many requests. And then what I think is very important, and that comes from my experience of getting emails from people, is have specific questions. The conversation will just be so much more helpful for both of you if you have specific questions. People do email me and say, hi, I heard you work at Penguin. Can you give me some tips on how to work in publishing? That means that for me, I'm gonna have to write like a whole, I mean, I could write a whole book about it, but like write a long email, and then I don't even know if that advice applies to them. So if you have a particular question about, you know, do you have any helpful websites that you use? What was like the best part about your job and what should I prepare for? Well, that's a bit more difficult. Like there's very specific questions you can ask. Have a list of questions just to make sure you both get the most out of your time together, whether it's over email or in person. Number 6, keep an eye out for book campaigns. Now, obviously in editorial, that might be a slightly different case, but if you're doing publicity or marketing or sales or anything like that, basically just keep your eyes open. What are you seeing on social media? What are you seeing on websites, in bookshops, on the tube, on the bus, next to the highway, wherever? Keep an eye open and see what you like. Take pictures of it. Have a think about why do you like it? Why do you think it's successful? It is just good stuff to get in the habit of thinking about analyzing. That wasn't even a sentence. You know what I mean. And then also have a think about which people do you follow? Celebrities, influencers, book bloggers. How do they talk about books? What do you like about it? Which newspapers cover books? That kind of stuff. Number 7, look further than just your dream job. It is hard to find the perfect job as your very first role. Realistically, that is not going to happen for a lot of people. I think I got very lucky finding the job I did, but also I probably should have like thrown the net a bit wider, because it took me 9 months to find that first job after doing internships and stuff. If it's not working out for you for whatever reason, try and slide in sideways. So you could, for example, look at something in the same discipline. So if you want to do sales or marketing or PR, try and look for something in that way. Or you can find kind of an adjacent cultural industry, whether it's like museums or theater, maybe it's education, maybe it's working on events. It can be anything that has similarities, but obviously isn't exactly the same. Or sometimes you just want to find an office job that will teach you how to do admin, how to do emails, and give you those vital skills. And while you're learning those things, you can keep an eye out for the right publishing job. And actually, very often I've seen that publishers do appreciate and bring in people from different industries because they have a different point of view. Number 8, look into the departments. Before I started applying, I didn't know what the different departments were, what they did, and what would fit me. So I didn't really know the difference between marketing and PR. And then when I interned, that was really helpful. If you do some reading about different people's jobs and looking at the different, again, like job listings, you might be able to figure out what is kind of the best combination for like your personality and the skills you have. And I think a lot of people would work, for example, in marketing for a few years and then realize that actually they want to do PR. So there are lots of options to move around, but I think it's good to get an idea of all the different things that are there. I'm doing a series this year where I'm interviewing people who have a ton of different jobs in publishing. So when that playlist is there, hopefully that will be helpful too. Number 9, study the books, study the bookshops, go in, see what's out on the tables, see what the big new titles are, see what's popular. Are you seeing trends in covers or topics or anything? Just get in the habit of really thinking about it. And you know, when you do land an interview with the publisher, you'll be able to talk about what you're reading, what you're excited about, how that fits in with the rest of the publishing industry. It doesn't have to be that in depth. I think if you like reading, you'll be able to go into a shop and you'll figure it out. Things will stand out to you. And it's also helpful to find out a bit more about awards and things like that. I was entirely clueless because I had moved from a different country, and I definitely should have looked into that more and at least like known the names of them. And finally, the last one, I guess, is a bit of a confidence booster as well, but it is learn the lingo. I just put up a video with my friend Lena, who works at Vintage at Penguin Random House UK, and we talked through all the words that we didn't know when we were interns or in our first couple of years on the job. So have a look at that video and hopefully that will be helpful and make you feel a little bit more comfortable. And then this is a bonus tip. I've also done a video with Rosianna a few years back where we talk about how to nail your first day at an internship or a job. That video might be helpful if you're currently in that process. All right, I promise I'd keep this short. I hope this will help you, give you a bit of confidence, maybe help you out a bit with which direction you want to go when you want to do a bit more work on your CV or building your confidence. And I will see you soon. Doei!